Microaggressions are subtle, often unintentional, forms of discrimination or bias that can occur in everyday interactions. Unlike overt acts of prejudice, microaggressions are more indirect and can sometimes be hard to notice. They often take the form of comments, questions, or actions that communicate stereotypes or reinforce social hierarchies. While the person committing a microaggression may not mean any harm, the impact can still be hurtful to the person on the receiving end. For example, a microaggression might involve assuming someone's abilities or preferences based on their appearance or background. These moments often reflect broader societal issues rather than personal malice. Now let's look at some examples to better understand this concept. One example of a microaggression is when someone assumes a person is not from a certain country because of their accent or how they look. For instance, asking someone, "Where are you really from?" might seem like a harmless question, but it can imply that the person doesn't truly belong. This question can feel dismissive of their identity or experience. Another example is giving backhanded compliments that highlight stereotypes. A comment like, "You're so articulate for someone your age," may sound like praise but suggests surprise that a young person could be well spoken, reinforcing a bias against their abilities. A third example is making assumptions about someone's interests or skills based on stereotypes. For instance, saying, "You must be great at math," to someone because of their background can feel limiting, as it assumes their identity dictates their abilities or interests. Finally, microaggressions can also appear as actions. For example, consistently mispronouncing someone's name, even after they've corrected you, can communicate that their identity is not important enough to remember. Now that we've explored some examples, let's move on to strategies for challenging microaggressions. One way to challenge microaggressions is through self-awareness. People can reflect on their own biases and assumptions to avoid unintentionally saying or doing something hurtful. This involves questioning stereotypes and being open to learning from others' perspectives. For instance, instead of making assumptions, ask open-ended questions in a respectful way like, "Can you tell me more about yourself?" Another approach is to educate others gently when microaggressions occur. If someone makes an unintentional comment that could be hurtful, you might say, "I know you didn't mean it this way, but that comment could come across as insensitive." This can help the person recognize their mistake without feeling attacked, encouraging them to change their behavior in the future. It's also important to stand up for others when you witness a microaggression. Being an ally means addressing the situation with empathy. For example, if a friend's name is mispronounced repeatedly, you could politely correct the person by saying, "Actually, their name is pronounced like this." Small actions like these can make a big difference in making others feel seen and respected. Finally, creating a culture of inclusivity can help prevent microaggressions. This means fostering environments where diversity is celebrated and where people feel comfortable sharing their experiences. Encouraging open conversations about identity and respect can help everyone feel more valued and understood. By becoming more aware of microaggressions and actively working to challenge them, we can contribute to a more respectful and inclusive world.